Morning, guys. Sam here from United People's TV, and this is a new daily transfer show that we'll be bringing you, just to sort of cut through all the rumours that are going around because there's too many for everyone to keep on top of. So we thought we'd do a video every single day for you. Going to be hopefully going out at 9:30 every single morning. So make sure you like and subscribe and come back for more. But let's get started with the first one. Now, first rumour to start with. Nicholas Gaitan. United fans will be all too aware of rumours linking this Argentinian midfielder to us, and lo and behold, they've started again. It's almost like Wesley Schneider type rumours that just keep reappearing, never seem to die. And now this morning, Abola, which is a Portuguese newspaper, has said that we are 80 to 90% close to agreeing a deal for him. Joy. If you rewind back to 2012, there was an article in the Telegraph from Jason Burt, who is quite reliable. I mean, he was the first person to break all the Juan Mata to United stories, so he's got credibility. But back in 2012, he said that there was a deal had been agreed for Gaitan to join United, and that didn't really work out, did it? Now they're saying that Jorge Mendes, you know, the super agent who's involved in so many pies, has been instrumental in this development, and that Van Gaal has watched him on a video. Now, you find it quite hard to believe that Van Gaal would sign anybody just by watching a video. It's a bit weird, that. And is he really a player you need? Probably not. He's a tricky midfielder rather than the number 6 who Van Gaal was really keen to sign. So it's a bit of a weird one. I'm not sure why it's reappeared again. It must have reappeared for a reason, but what can you do? Transfer season. So don't believe it until he's standing there holding a United shirt, but they've reappeared again. So take them as you will. Now, next up, Mr. Iker Casillas has been talking. Now, this is quite interesting, this one, because he did an interview yesterday where he was speaking in quite some depth about his future. He was very open about it. Now, if you want to go to read the whole article, we'll pop a link in the description. But basically what he's saying is that he's staying at Real Madrid. He is going nowhere, and he wants to end his career there. So what we'll do is I'll read a few quotes out for you. Here you go. He said, "I'm sure I'll continue here next season at Madrid, of course. I cannot imagine myself outside of the club. When the new campaign starts, I want to end my career here." He goes on to talk about lots and lots of stuff like Ancelotti sacking, being relegated to the subs bench. And then interestingly enough, he was asked about De Gea. And this is what he said. He said, "If De Gea comes here, he'll be welcomed. Competition is healthy. There is no clause in my contract which states that I have to be first choice. We'll have to compete for a place like we do with Spain. De Gea is a great bloke and a goalkeeper for the present and the future. I can handle pressure, and the experience I've had will serve me well." Well, that's his seal of approval for De Gea joining. Not sure whether he genuinely wants De Gea to join. I think Casillas would much rather De Gea comes absolutely nowhere near the club, because then obviously he'll be able to keep his spot. But United fans are sort of conceded to the fact that De Gea is going to join Madrid this summer. They don't want him to. Nobody wants him to, apart from Madrid fans. But you know, it's his hometown. You can see so many reasons why he would stay at United. The fans and the club, I mean, he loves it here, you can tell. But in Madrid, he's got his girlfriend, he's got his family, and it's his hometown. And then on the other hand, from a United fan's perspective, you think, why the hell would De Gea want to join that environment where it has to be the most toxic environment in football? If Ancelotti can get sacked 12 months after winning La Decima, after Madrid have waited 12 years for it, and they can just, you know, kick him off to the side straight after, then what chance does De Gea have? I mean, he should stay at United, obviously. I'm going to say that. But it depends what his priorities are. If he wants the affection of fans and he wants to be loved at the club and be guaranteed #1, then stay at United. If he wants to go to Madrid, then so be it. Not that it will be nice to watch, but sort of everyone's half conceded that it's probably going to happen. Next up, let's have a little chat about our new signing, Memphis. Now, Memphis has been talking away because he's away on international duty with Holland at the moment. And he's given a nice little interview where he's talking about the move. Obviously, he confirms that he hasn't signed the contract yet, and he can't because he has to wait until the transfer market opens to ratify the deal. But, you know, it's done and dusted already. And he was speaking about Van Gaal again. And he said, Van Gaal is important to me. We know each other well, and we had a great conversation. He didn't have to explain to me what sort of club United are. They are one of the biggest clubs in the world. It's Memphis. He knows. Now, Van Gaal was so important in Depay joining. And I think he's important in getting the most out of Depay as well. Because, you know, for a foreign player coming into the Premier League, it's always hard. It's always, you need to settle in a new country, new language. I suppose they speak English over in Holland anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. But all of his surroundings are changing. Luckily, Depay's got Van Gaal at the top. He's got Blind in the team. He's got Van Persie in the team. These will all help him to settle, much like Mata and De Gea helped Herrera to settle quite quickly. I mean, look how happy he looks right now. I mean, Depay's got all the talent in the world. You can see that. And seemingly he's got the mental attitude as well, because that's half the battle with these talented youngsters these days, is that they get too big for their boots too quickly. And because of that, they seem to lose their way. But everything points towards Depay having the right sort of mental approach. And that's a big thing. And he looks quality, and he's the sort of, he is a United signing. You know, he's young, he's got tricks in his bag, he's got talent, he's got potential. And these are the sort of signings that United have made over the years that end up being the best sort of signings. Cristiano Ronaldo, he joined when he was 18, and look what happened there. Now, that's not saying that Depay will be a new Ronaldo, but rather than, and this is a personal perspective, rather than signing your Angel Di Marias and your world-class made superstars, I love seeing a player come to United with potential and fulfilling it. And that's exactly what Depay is sort of what he can do. Moving on from midfield, there's one defender who everyone's talking about right now, Nicholas Otamendi. Now, this is quickly turning into a transfer saga. It all started when his agent, who's called Eugenio Lopez, came out with some quotes saying that Otamendi wanted to leave the club. And it made it clear to the club that he did want to leave months ago. Happy days, right? Wrong, because Valencia's president has then come out and basically called Otamendi's agent a liar, just straight up called him a liar. He said that if Otamendi did want to leave the club, he had to hand in a transfer request. That's it. And with a release clause of 50 million euros, that's the price he's going to go for. Well, that's what they're telling the press. But as United found out with Ander Herrera, as Bayern Munich found out with Javi Martinez, Spanish clubs and release clauses can be tricky, tricky business. Who knows where this one's going to go, but for all intents and purposes, Otamendi looks like the perfect leader centre-back that United desperately need. And he's considered one of the best defenders in La Liga this year by quite a lot of people. So, by the looks of it, it'd be a great signing for United. And United do need to United do need to sign a ready-made world-class centre-back. I think the times of Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, they're good, but they need a leader. They need a leader alongside them, much like Johnny Evans. When he had Rio or Vidic alongside him, he was quality. Take them away, and he becomes a shadow of the man. Now, I'm not saying that Jones and Smalling can't progress into becoming these world-class players, but they're a bit off it right now, and United needs somebody for next season to lead that defence. So Otamendi ticks the box for a lot of people. Now, it would be expensive, but I mean, if you're going to spend 30 million on Luke Shaw, who's 19, is it really that bad to spend 35 million on Nicholas Gaitan? on Nicholas Otamendi, who's a ready-made captain, basically? I don't think so. And there's also another La Liga player we've been linked to. Now, this one's bringing up memories of the past. Karim Benzema. We'll all know back in 2009, the French striker turned down a move to United to move to Real Madrid. Now, he's gone on to be a very good player for them. Obviously, he's been overshadowed by your Ronaldos, your Bales, and all those players. But, I mean, last season he scored 22 goals and he got 11 assists in 38 appearances. Now, for a player who's effectively second fiddle, or third fiddle if you count Bale in front of him as well, that's a great return. And this season, United's top scorer was 14, I believe, with Rooney, which is just, that's not good enough, is it? I mean, when United lost the league on goal difference to Man City, we signed Robin van Persie, the league's best striker. He went on to basically win the league for us next year. Now, in this 4-3-3 formation, there is only one striker. So we're all going to say Rooney's going to start up front. But it's not always been the case this year. He's had to drop back to fill positions, cover injured players, etc. And relying on one player is never, ever a good idea, especially now that we're back in the Champions League. We're hopefully not going to go out of the Capital One Cup in the first round. And hopefully we'll get to the FA Cup final this time. So there's going to be more games and we need more players. And someone like Benzema, who's ready-made quality, as much as I wouldn't say I prefer to sign players like Depay all the time, but you've got to get that mix that United have got, that United need, to get that balance in the team. So if you're going to get a ready-made world-class striker like Benzema and add him to the potential of Depay, and then you've got Di Maria, Mata, Rooney, that's not a bad attacking force. But United definitely need a striker this year. We've already got rid of Radamel Falcao. Robin van Persie doesn't look like he's getting any younger, because he isn't. And he was injured most of this year. So he's kind of looked like the Arsenal Van Persie that everyone feared we'd sign. Even though in his first year he banged them in. He hasn't been banging them in last year. And there's no guarantee that he's going to re-find his fitness next year when he's a year older. So I think fans and Van Gaal want at least one striker to come in. And Benzema's now been linked, thanks to The Guardian. Speaking of strikers, there's one striker who's back at the club, but you imagine it's only on a short-time basis. Javier Hernandez returned this week because Real Madrid don't want to sign him, which is kind of fair enough. Nobody expected them to, because he was on the bench for the majority of the year. He came on at the end of the season when Benzema and Bale were injured, and he had a good impact. He scored the winner in the quarter-final Champions League against Atletico Madrid. That was a massive goal for him. And at that point, Ancelotti called him undroppable. So he found a position in the squad, but Ancelotti's gone. Whoever comes in now, which might be Benitez, which is a bit weird. I don't know why they want to sign him. Real Madrid aren't that sort of team where they can give players patience. They need results immediately. If you don't give results, that's it. You're out. Hernandez won't get a second chance at that club. Yeah. So that's basically it. That's our UPTV Transfer Daily for today. Obviously, the main news is the Gaitan rumours have reappeared. We'll see how they develop. They might be coming out later with some quotes from Benfica's president or the club or Gaitan himself denying it all. But we'll bring you the latest tomorrow morning. So make sure you subscribe to United People's TV. I've been Sam, and this has been Transfer Daily. And we'll be back tomorrow. See you later.